Hey, everybody. It's the Initiative Project Podcast, and I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Is it ever okay to just settle and be happy in life? And that is what we're going to cover today, because that is Kelly's question she posed to herself, to me, and to you. So sit back and enjoy. We're going to talk about how our weeks were, but we have done, the third one is this one, and we're not talking about what we just did over the past month, because nothing has changed in the last two.
So, yes, we're recording 3 or 4, podcasts at a time, and so we're over talking about
my life.
But no. I should say, though, because I forgot to mention the other ones, I just had a birthday.
I know, you're 40.
I was 29 plus 10. I'm 39.
Oh,
jerk.
My bad. I thought it was 40. Oops.
No,
Oopsies.
Might as well be. It doesn't matter.
You're 10 years older than I am.
I know.
That's scary. All right.
All right. So this is a question that I think more Americans need to consider. Is it ever okay to just settle and be happy in your life the way things are, as they are right now?
The status quo.
Yes. Because I don't know, do you find that like sometimes you're just constantly, I feel like I always need to be on, or I feel like I should always have this constant drive and this constant motivation and always be striving and striving and striving. I don't know. Do you ever feel it that way?
Yeah. Like at the beginning of this year, I just felt like I was just stuck.
Right.
So I just,
I mean, it's one thing
reevaluate stuff.
We need to, provide for our families, and we need to find the motivation to, to get enough things done. But it seems like so many Americans are unhappy in their lives. And you have to start asking the question, why is it? It's because we're so focused on always getting more and more and more and more. And we're so busy in trying to do that we never actually stop to enjoy what we have right now.
I don't know. I enjoy what I have now.
Do you? Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. I mean, if you're able, to take the time. So anyway, the reason that I even thought about this topic was because I've kept this quiet for a little bit, and again, I'm not gonna say a whole lot right now because it's not finalized. But I'm starting a new business in Medina. I'm scared shitless. But I'm also really excited about it. And like I said, details will be forthcoming in the next month or two. But the other day, a friend of mine who knows about my plans, he asked me this question, and it really sort of took me back. And he happens to be a business coach. And so he was asking me this question, I think, to just get me thinking. And I just had this weird response to it, this visceral response. But he asked me, how big do you want to be? Like, what's your vision? And I was like, I have no idea. So it brought up these really interesting feelings and this resistance in me. And I mean, starting a new business, you do have to have some goals, I think, and you have to have a plan. You have to have some motivation and drive to make it work. But I considered this question and I thought to myself, I don't really know how big I want to get.
She wants to take over the world.
Right.
I would.
There was a time when I thought that I wanted to be one of these like internet influencers, or you know what I'm talking about?
I hate them. I hate those people. I hate them.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me rephrase. I hate most of them. Some of them I really like and enjoy because it's backed by science and stats. It's not like those.
A lot of it is like bro
Instagram
science.
Thoughts and stuff.
Yes.
If you don't know what a thought is, look it up. It's hilarious.
A what?
A thought.
A thought?
That hoe over there. That's a thought.
God. Okay. But I mean, a lot of it is bro science.
Yeah. I mean, some of them are just for entertainment factors, but some of these guys, I'm like, I don't think you're okay. You look good. You're big. Great. That's good for like teenagers, but I'm like approaching 30 years old. I'm not concerned about how big my arms are.
Right. I
mean, he's probably older than I am, so is he acting like a teenager or is he acting like an adult? He's probably acting like a teenager,
Right.
in his videos, from what I can see. So.
Right. And they do things for, to get more views, and, there's all the Photoshop and all that fun stuff. But when I considered like what I really wanted, when you are an influence, I even hate that word. When you're an influencer like that, you tend to be like super busy, right? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not one. So
I guess I don't really know. But again, it's like if I get really big, or if I take this business that I'm going to start in Medina and I decide to franchise it, am I going to be so busy that I forget to live my life now? No. And then, I get so focused on making the money, and then
you just delegate.
Well,
delegate.
You got to get to that point though, too. So with larger and larger businesses come more and more headaches. And you can ask my husband about this. He and his business partner, which also happens to be his cousin, they started out with almost nothing, and they were doing siding on houses, and they managed to get into the foreclosure industry right before the market tanked in 2008. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, their business just got huge, and they're hiring all of these crews, and they still have a lot of people, and they're making millions of dollars. But it's funny because they're making all that money in is it gross or net? Which one is the?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I know. I get them confused too. So, but what nobody sees is, on the back side of that is that their costs and their headache and the amount of work that is involved has also skyrocketed.
Oh yeah.
And, they went from working kind of when they wanted to and making enough for us to be comfortable and happy. And all of a sudden they're just working all the time. All the time. And so again, there's all of this extra expenditure of time, energy, money. Would it be okay sometimes to just settle? So the business, like I said, that I'm about to start could theoretically be franchised, but is that really what I want? Or could I just be happy in having a successful business on the square in Medina and making enough money to supplement? You've got something to say, don't you?
Never settle.
Oh, no. Never settle.
If I had a great business idea, I would take over the world. I'd be like, I am going to be the only person that does this, and I'm going to destroy everyone else.
So have you had any of these great business epiphanies?
No, not yet. That's why I'm at my new job, because I'm going to destroy everybody else.
Oh.
That is my goal.
Okay, then.
I plan on growing.
So you're going to make somebody else money.
Oh, yeah. Because then in turn, he's going to give me money, which is perfectly fine.
Right.
So, I mean, as if I bless my rabbi, he's going to bless me, And the same thing when I worked at Alice, my goal was to destroy everybody else's stuff. And basically I did that for, 2 years. So, but that's just me. I'm a little different, I guess.
Well, I hope that you come up with some awesome
find
idea. And I can't wait to see you take over the world with it. Especially, once you have like your 8th kid.
Oh, yeah. That's my wife's job. Be like, home, everything at home is yours. Business is TJ. Home is yours.
If you can do that, that's fantastic. And I will say that I have been super fortunate in that with my current business, I don't have to work if I don't want to. But I have a drive in me. So I do have drive, and I do have motivation, and I do have passion. At the same time, I know a few things about myself because, I'm 89. Is that what?
Yeah, 89,
right,
89.
Right. I know with age comes wisdom.
I hope so.
Here's what I know about myself. I'm driven to the point that I want to support my family. I want to live comfortably. I want us to be secure, and I want to maintain my lifestyle. So for us, that means I want to be able to go out to eat like once a week in a restaurant. I want to be able to go. We usually do 2 to 3 vacations per year.
That's pretty good.
Yes, it's very good.
Yeah.
And our vacations are not cheap. So I want to be able to do those things. I want to be able to afford healthy food.
Yeah.
And so my goals take me up to that point, but I'm not really driven to do more than that. Like, I don't want to conquer the world. I don't need to conquer the world.
Because you're not a man.
I know.
That's
well,
what
right.
we do.
Exactly. I don't need fancy cars, furniture.
You need more testosterone.
House. I'll start taking some pills.
Yeah.
I don't need fancy cars, furniture, houses, or stuff. And I frequently joke with my friends and other people who come to visit me. Like, if you look at my couch downstairs, that green one.
Yeah.
I had that couch. I bought it right after I graduated from college. It was in my first apartment.
Oh my gosh.
It's more than 25 years old.
Yeah, you need to get rid of that thing.
But here's the thing.
Unless it still works.
No, think about this. I realize that couch needs replaced. And I've got a blanket over it right now so that you can't see where like all the stuffing is coming out of the back of it.
Nice.
But here's the thing. I could go out and spend $4,000 on a new couch, right? Or I could buy plane tickets to the Bahamas. And guess what? I just bought 3 plane tickets to the Bahamas because that's where we're going.
And your husband?
Awesome. Right. So again, my choice was to live with a little bit, maybe fewer nice things, but do what I want to do. So in fact, if I have it my way, I'd like to downsize. And my husband and I, we joke about this all the time about how when we lived in Brook Park in our little 1/8 of an acre lot, with like it would take you like maybe 10 minutes to cut the grass.
Okay.
And how much easier life was when we lived there. So, and now we move out here, which is our dream. We've got almost 40 acres. And this was sort of our dream. But now when we look back on those times where we were living up in Brook Park, and we're like, man, life was a lot more simple then. We had this tiny little box of a house.
Was your kid born?
No, she wasn't born yet.
Okay.
But so, things get more complicated when you add in kids, and now we've got all these animals. We have all this property to take care of. We have an old house that's not easy to care for or leave. And it's huge. And so what have we done? Like, I never thought I would fill this house with crap, and we have filled the house with crap. And so it's like, I would actually love to downsize all of it. Another thing I know about myself is that I lose my freaking mind if I work too much or if I feel overly busy or rushed and I can't take time for myself to do things like exercise or eat a hot meal or use the toilet or take a hot shower. So I know that about myself. I mean, do you know anything about yourself when it comes to these things? Like, do you have these epiphanies about your personality that tells you?
Yeah, I need time to myself to just like veg.
Yeah.
Like play video games or do something.
Because you're more of an introvert, right?
Yeah, I mean, if I wanted to go out and do something, sure, but I mean, there's nothing I want to do outside of my house,
right?
Besides go to work or go to the gym or whatever. But unless I decided one day to go into one of your social networking clubs and rub elbows with people.
It's great. I love the networking group I'm in, and like I said, I've gotten a lot of opportunities. But after those meetings, I need to like go home and not talk to anybody.
Yeah.
For like an hour or two.
Oh, that's good.
It's really important to know these things about yourself. I lose my freaking mind if I have to be around too many people we just talked about this for too many, for long periods of time. So again, and I love working one-on-one with my clients. I absolutely love it. But by the end of the day, I need to turn that off.
Right.
And I need that time. So I cannot overschedule myself. And I know this about myself. So again, how big do I want to get in this business? I don't think getting really big or always continuing to strive and not be happy with anything less than making millions of dollars or, I think that would be bad for me, both from a health perspective, from a mental and emotional
Well, if you
perspective.
don't want the millions of dollars, you can just give it to me. That's fine.
Right. And again, I could live simpler and with less if need be. So sort of back to like the societal pressure here, Americans tend to be driven to I don't know, do you find like with your clients for training? I mean, do you get into any of this stuff with them? No? You don't talk about how much they hate their jobs?
No, because the one lady I have currently is she owns her own business.
Right.
So we talk about that. Talk about what her plan is, is she passing it off to her kids, and that's kind of the goal, and struggling with certain things in that and other stuff, but overall she seems pretty happy, except hey, you have those days where you want to pull your hair out.
Right.
But yeah, other than that,
it just seems to me like the women that I work with, especially the ones who have jobs or who are running businesses, they tend to they're driven to the point of sickness. So it's always about progress, forward momentum, making more and more and more money, go, 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 go. And I see it constantly. They make themselves actually physically ill, or they have depression or mental and emotional issues over this pressure that they put on themselves to always be doing, be striving, be going. And I sort of wanted to talk a little bit about this really interesting health study that compared the French, the Japanese, and the Americans.
Okay.
And so in this study, they were doing it, I think, mostly based on just health outcomes and like eating and food.
All right.
But it was really interesting because the perspective between these different cultures is quite different. So without going too far into detail, Americans are the most concerned about making money. They're most concerned about exercise. They are the most, they think the most about health and exercise and diet.
Okay.
The French think the least about those things. They smoke.
Yeah, that's why they're so weak in wars.
Okay.
Yeah. You ever see that? The French are always the ones that like, puss out.
No, but okay, just hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out here.
Okay.
All right. So the French, though, they smoke more, they drink more, they eat fattier foods, they eat more bread, pastries. They care the least, and this was all done by survey. They care the least about health. They think the least about health, exercise, diet. The Japanese fall somewhere in between. Guess which population is the healthiest, longest lived, thinnest?
Japanese.
No.
What?
It's the French.
What?
Yep.
Do you know that fatty food?
It's the French.
And the smoking?
So the point, and Americans, Americans, despite the fact that they think and they worry the most about health, we are the least healthy and the fattest. So we have more depression. We have higher rates of heart disease. So
you're telling me I need to smoke and eat a bunch of bread?
What I'm telling you is that it is not just the food and the exercise and all of these things that it is how we are living our lives. So have you ever been to Southern Europe?
No.
No? You've never been to France or Greece or Southern Spain?
No.
Okay.
No.
So if you ever get the chance, I highly recommend going. So I spent some time in Southern Greece or in the islands.
Okay.
And here's what I noticed about their culture. They are slow. So they
mentally slow?
No.
Okay.
They live a slow life. So
it's like meander.
They don't. Same thing with the people in the Caribbean and like in the Bahamas. They don't care how fast you want to get your meal or how fast you want to get somewhere, like the Americans, because the Americans are always in a freaking hurry. They don't care. They're like, you're going to get there when you get there. You're going to get your food when you get it. When I spent time in Greece, all of the stores, everything would shut down at about 1 p.m. and they would not reopen until 3 p.m.
For lunch?
Yes.
Okay.
They would all go home. They would have a huge meal with their families, and they would sit for hours and drink wine and smoke, and they would enjoy the shit out of that meal, out of the company, out of their life. And it was just a completely different mindset about work versus what's really important.
Sure.
So they, in my opinion, and again, it shows up in their health outcomes. It's not just about what you're eating or how much you're eating or how much you're exercising or what you're doing. It is about how you're living your life and what you're putting your focus on. So if you're always in that like rush, 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 go, 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 you can't take any time for yourself, you're not enjoying your life, what good is that?
Right. Well, that makes sense.
Right. So what if we just settled sometimes? Would it be so bad to say, this is good enough for me? My weight right now that I'm at, would I love to lose 10 pounds? Sure. But is it good enough? Can I have a glass of wine later on and not have to worry about what it's going to do to my, I would rather live that way. So my answer to this question about how big I want to get with my business was pretty much not too big. I want to be big enough to help out with the supplement our income and maybe help my husband retire at some point. I want to be big enough to give a little back to the community. I want to be big enough to live comfortably and do what I like to do. But I don't have to be bigger than that because there's so much other crap that goes with being really big in a business. And if I'm totally honest, I don't intend to spend my whole life tied down to a business or so intensely focused on the growth of that business that I forget to live now.
So grow it for 10 years, retire at 50.
10 years though.
Retire at 50.
Oh, yeah. I want to live now. I could not see myself going without like without a vacation for the next 10 years or, I can't live like that. But that's me.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of people out there and those are the people who hustle and they do wind up millionaires, right? They hustle.
Hope so.
They, but sometimes it causes, even a lot of those people will say, I couldn't hold down a relationship, couldn't have kids, can't have a family life because their number one priority has to be the hustle. And that is never going to be me. I am not willing to sacrifice my health, my time with my family, to try and get bigger and bigger and bigger and make all this money. Yeah, that makes
sense. I want to get big, but I don't want to get so big to where I can't have a family. That's stupid.
Yeah. What good is all of that money if you
have no one to use it for with or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
If you end up divorced or, if you just wind up unhappy. And, so important questions to ask, what's really important in life? And am I willing to settle and sometimes just be? What's enough? What do I really need in life to be happy? And when it comes right down to it, people do things because they want to feel a part of something or a part of a community. And honestly, to me, it comes back to wanting to be loved and needed and appreciated. So sometimes stuff and more money gets translated into love, but it never ends up working out that way. So, if you're so focused on growth, money, and more and more and more that you can't take a 2-second break to enjoy what you have and to be with the people you love and to foster relationships, again, what good is it?
None. Not
so
good.
This was a really deep podcast. Do you have anything more to add to this? You don't?
I'm like,
I am blowing minds.
Yes, she's blowing all the minds. Everything. No, I totally agree. Especially if you don't have that work-life balance, it's not good.
Right.
Yeah, so.
We could all die
we could die tomorrow.
We could die today,
Let's hope not, but I definitely understand. Like, I want to be driven to a point where I can live comfortably.
Yes.
Not like we're not paycheck to paycheck now, but
Right.
I want to get a big house for my 400 children I'm going to have or whatever amount.
Right.
But yeah, if I can't balance that out, then there's no point.
Exactly. So,
Is
all
that
right.
is all you got?
You're doing the outro because you're
yeah,
good
I
at
know.
that.
Well, everybody, this is the Initiative Project podcast. So the question is it okay to settle?
I think it is.
I think it is. All right. Well, if you're driven, be driven. If you want to settle, be
happy.
settled. Be happy. But like we said last time, give us questions.
Yes,
you have not given us questions.
We need good questions. What do you want to know? What do you want to hear us talk about?
Exactly. All right. So until next time, guys, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Hey, everyone. This is TJ and
Kelly
with the Initiative Project podcast. If you like what you heard, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions you'd like us to cover, please email us at initiativepodcast@gmail.com. See you next time.